This stream contains fast flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised. This stream contains fast flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion.
Today,
is
4
advised.
teams are fighting for survival, and 2 are about to watch their dreams of lifting a trophy slip away. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Day 4 of Masters Santiago, coming at you live from Espacio Riesgo in Santiago, Chile, for our first elimination match of the tournament. I'm Golden Boy, the current guy yelling at you right now, who's dressed as an old school Puerto Rican landlord, and I'm joined by Wyatt and Sideshow. We're going to break it all down to trophy. The fellas are back in town.
The fellas,
and welcome to
last
ride around the sun.
Coming at you
I
live.
know, but then she is the ultimate Santiago, Chile, for our first elimination match of course, the tournament. We've got 2 teams already qualified yelling at you right now.
That means 6 squads.
Puerto Rican landlord, and I'm joined by Wyatt and Sideshow. We're going to break it all down to trophy. The fellas are back in town.
The fellas,
and welcome to
last
ride around the sun.
Coming at you live.
I know, but then she is the ultimate Santiago, Chile, for our first elimination match of course, the tournament. We've got 2 teams already qualified yelling at you right now.
That means 6 squads.
Puerto Rican landlord, and I'm fighting for the last 2 spots. We're going to break it all down to trophy. The fellas are back in town, and it's only going to be 4 hours today because elimination is on the docket. Yes,
Clothes thrown in
tears shed.
Don't forget anything in the hotel room.
Do not, but if you want to take the soap, though, if you want to take the soap and the lotion as well as the napkin, take it all. Okay, it's there for you. And it's only going to be 4 hours today because elimination is on the docket. Yes,
Clothes thrown in
tears shed.
Don't forget anything in the hotel room.
Do not, but if you want to take the soap, though, if you want to take the soap
Take it all, bro.
take it all out. Put it in a Ziploc bag.
Looks like you were playing the pump game over at the Yeah, we gotta get over there. We need to do a
We really do.
Before we
We want to know how many teams you think are going to survive. Is it going to be 0, 1, or 2? Scan the QR code, cast your votes. I'm curious to see what the hell the results of that one are going to be, considering how people were feeling about the CN teams coming into the tournament. Sideshow.
How some people are feeling. Some people are gassed up on them. Some people are thinking that
Solo
XLG is going to make it
Solo
top
on
3.
Wyatt real fast, okay? And we just want to talk shame real quick.
What? It's not
you
shame
guys are
yet.
overreacting to one game against the world champions. Oh, God forbid a team loses to the reigning defending world champions.
You know what, Wyatt? You're right.
GB.
You're so right. You're so right. Unfortunately, they have to deal with the 3 times America's champions as well today. We'll see how that plays out.
3-time non-winners of events in the globe last year. So XLG, they could win. Except I also didn't predict them to win today. But I think it's like a curse thing. It's a reverse.
He's got no hope.
If
faith.
I predicted XLG, I would have been the only person to do it. Thus, I predicted G2, so we don't curse them.
We haven't even looked at the prize. We don't know that.
Here's the good news. The good news is hopefully you're not as wrong as Wyatt, because you'll have opportunities to show your knowledge with Shot Call right on Twitch. Make sure you find the icon. Go ahead and click that. Shot Call will open up, and you log in, predict what's going to happen in a round. Maybe you win some prizes. Be smart. Make good decisions, okay? And honestly, that's a phrase that you should follow for the majority of your life, by the way. Just make good decisions. Trust me, it'll pay off when you're in your 40s.
Make bad decisions. They're more fun.
Don't see. It's like the devil and the angel. You know what I mean?
But he's right.
The bald devil with the mustache and the bald beard. Angel, oh, whatever. Anyway, of course, before we get into today's matchup, we're gonna play. Our crack shoot analysts over here are going to have to pick and decide which one it is.
So it's Leaf, Jorgamo.
Oh, wait, there's a sheet here. I'm turning it over.
You have two of them right.
I don't want to. Wait, there's both.
The top, though. Exactly. Now I'm trying to cycle through who on EDG this is. I think it might be nobody.
It's not nobody.
CB.
Not nobody?
And it's not CB.
It's Smoggy.
It's not Smoggy. Then you have
G2.
It's G2.
We had to get there eventually.
There you have it. It's G2, Jorgamo, and Leaf.
Great work,
all right.
fellas.
That's number one. Here's number two.
Trent.
Sweet baby Jesus.
The one in the middle is easy.
Yeah. Okay, you got
At the
one.
bottom, that's Stacks. It's Stacks for sure on the bottom.
Okay, you have two so far.
And the top is Happy Boy.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Way in mere moments, buddy.
Since he's the top three, you pick him for top three.
Either him or Purpo with the platinum blonde hair.
True. But I think Purpo's a little bit more
it's a bit all over the place.
All right, here's the next one. We got...
okay, so it's definitely Baby Bay on the bottom.
And it's Bellin on top.
And it's definitely Kong Kong in the middle.
Yeah.
That one was easier, I think.
Oh, man.
Very, very distinctive.
Well done. Okay, folks. Well, you know what? I got to say, this was a lot better than in rehearsal.
One in rehearsal was harder than this.
Yeah, one in rehearsal was a little harder.
If we combine the three of us together, though, which one, how would we create the best version of ourselves?
You with the stash at the bottom.
Oh, so I'm at the bottom?
Yeah.
And I think,
dude, you got to get the bald
hair.
You got to get the bald. One of us.
Oh, it would be kind of crazy to have your hair on our face.
Actually, so all I'm saying is to the community, if you want to actually make that actually be kind of cool. We'd love to see it. Like to see your creations. In any case, so let's go ahead and hop into our first matchup of the day, because we have T1. And we had an opportunity to catch up with Munchkin about returning to his old squad and his role as IGL. Let's take a listen.
몇 년이 지나고 나서야 T1의 유니폼을 다시 입는데 아직은 어색한 것 같아요. 일단 제가 팀을 들어가게 되면은 제가 당연히 IGL을 하게 될 거라는 걸 짐작은 하고 있었고, 저는 스택스 같은 장난꾸러기는 아니지만 스택스 같은 사람이 되기 위해 노력합니다. 저는 팀의 이제 인게임 리더가 조금 되면은 딱딱해 보일 수 있는 좀 그런 느낌이 있다고 생각을 해요. 그래서 팀원들한테 정말 사이좋게 잘 지내려고 노력하고, 좀 재밌는 형으로 있어야지 팀원들이 어느 순간에는 저한테 무슨 말이든 할 수 있을 거라고 생각을 해서 항상 웃으려고 노력하고 친구들 마냥 잘 지내려고 노력합니다. 저희를 의심하는 모두에게 증명할 준비가 되었습니다. 2026년은 T1에게 새로운 해입니다.
And T1, of course, they are looking for that next level that's going to get them over the hump, because unfortunately for these guys, they struggled against a very quick-paced Team Liquid, losing 2-0. And, look, it felt like, Wyatt, there were moments where you could have seen T1 potentially rise up, get that win, maybe force that map 3, but it really just felt like Team Liquid were giving them everything they had.
Yeah, with Munchkin talking about joining this team, being the IGL, just going to refer back to like one of the talking points before this game, which is that I felt like Munchkin was adding some structure to the madness of T1, who have the ability to just run around and shoot everyone. But that being said, Team Liquid, they ran at them and shot them, and T1 did not have the structure on their attacking sides to be able to deal with that defensive aggro.
In fact, they actually collapsed towards the end of Split. I think they lost 5 out of 6 of the final rounds of regulation in order to get it into OT. So, you know, that was their game to win and try to push it to Haven, and they fumbled it a little bit, I'd say.
Yeah, one thing, though, that we did hear from Munchkin was, you know, he's coming into this team as the IGL, but in previous years, though, it was Stax who would typically be that, like, leader, in-game leader, especially emotional leader as well. And one thing I was not prepared for from Stax in that series was just his output. It was really impressive, man. And that's exactly what you'd want to see out of a veteran like that who's been here, who's done that before. They're going to need him a lot today.
Yeah, they absolutely are. But I also think you could spin it a different way and say you're not always going to get that out of Stax. Like you got an unbelievably good performance out of Stax there, and you still ended up in a 0-2. I think Stax was frying though, and if he can get, I'm not even looking for this kind of performance again from the guy. I'm looking for maybe like 75% of this, and some other people to be online. 65 would be fine as well.
We'll take it.
Yeah, this was Stax' best series of this year so far, and ain't even close, GB. I agree with Josh. I don't need all this out of Stax, and if you want T1 to win this game, if you're a T1 fan, you shouldn't be feeling like you need all this out of Stax. Dude, they were qualifying here with everyone else being able to go crazy. I think what you're really hoping for is that the rest of the guys on T1 who were maybe a little bit quiet, a little bit inconsistent, get back to that peak. And to win a tournament when you have a guy like Stax in this level of form, or even the 70%, even 60%, even 65, that's where, you know, it boils over the top, and they're then suddenly in a, whoa, they're going on a run. These guys could actually win the tournament type position.
Yeah, I'm more worried, honestly, about the mental side of it when it comes to this. It was actually good to hear from Munchkin there in the piece that we listened to earlier, where he was saying, I try to be as friendly as possible. They can come to me with anything, because we know that T1 have had their issues before in terms of frustration, boiling over, and I think that that's something that they've got to be aware of, especially when they just got run down by Liquid.
Yeah, I was actually given this talking point from Seth, so I didn't discover it myself. I did no research to get this. He just told me in the green room. And I said, I'll be using that now, thank you. Which is that actually historically, there are a number of maps from Munchkin IGL teams in the last couple of years at Globals where they get to 11 and end up losing those maps, like genuinely a concerning amount of times.
Yeah, you're going to need to see them close out those critical rounds there, but you're also going to be looking for some big performances as well. And when you think about big performance, you got to think about Meteor. And the reality is, I think Meteor really just found himself between a rock and a hard place, and that is in more ways than one, because he was honestly just dealing with the might of Team Liquid. I mean, just look at what was happening here.
Yeah, I mean, the first clip shows it perfectly, where he's just holding Breeze mid, and the hordes run at him.
And all these clips are practically him versus Miniboo.
Yeah, and dude, you got a neon in your face, and then you got 2 guys behind, even if you do deal with the neon. I'm not saying that Meteor played a bad game. I'm saying he got overwhelmed by the pace and aggression of Liquid.
If anything, I would look at that more as like, hey, this is the thing that T1 might want to address in case, I don't know, maybe EDG decides to get a little bit more speedy on those pushes.
Can I be real, though? They're not doing that.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just trying to throw some hope out there.
But yeah, I mean, I think that game, you can really just juxtapose it against how Gentlemates handled that. Those aggro pushes, they were getting destroyed because they're running into multiple players set up in positions
and sitting
to
back
deny
deeper
it
as well.
Right, and in the case of that game against T1, yeah, it's just the number of times you saw Meteor alone, like on split defense, he's just that one extremity watch over towards A is pressed up just a little bit, like past ropes.
Yeah.
And suddenly there's 3 guys in his face. What can you do? You're getting overwhelmed by Util. They're sliding at you. There's all types of stuff happening.
It felt like a product of the situation, undoubtedly.
Yeah. You know, didn't have the read on that game.
Exactly. And if there's one thing, though, that you can't take away from this is that these are all incredibly intelligent players who will look at what happened there and be like, okay, well, we'll worry about that later. They know the opponent that they're going to be running into in this particular instance. This is one that they have faced in the past. This is a rematch. They faced 2 times in Bangkok last year. So let's actually jump in, get a little bit more knowledge with Izu. Jen Lee had an opportunity to catch up with him.
Jen here with Izu of T1. Now, Izu, since Autumn's move to EDG, he's been implementing new ideas to his new team, similar to what he had done with you guys last year. So what's it like having Autumn on the other side, leading your opponents today?
제가 이제 감독님이랑 오래 하기도 했고 마스터즈 우승도 하기도 했어서 감독님이 충분히 이제 능력이 좋으신 분인 걸 알고 있고 되게 재밌는 조합도 많이 하셨던 걸 알고 있어가지고 상대로 하면은 또 어떤 느낌일지 기대가 됩니다.
Well, we actually spent a lot of years together and we won Masters Bangkok together. And I know he likes to run some funky, unique comps as well. And he's a really capable coach. So I'm excited to see what it's going to be like facing EDG with Autumn leading the team. Thank you very much, Izu, and good luck today.
Thank you.
That it is so interesting that the coach of T1 who won Masters Bangkok with them is now coaching the team on the opposite side. It's such a weird move for Autumn to have gone over to EDG. As far as I'm aware, he doesn't speak Chinese. I think things are having to go through the team system. Yeah. He's been kind of coming up with new funky comps for them to play and new ideas. But I think EDG require a lot of work right now. Like they are still finding their footing, and that's a big task for Autumn as co-head coach of such an unusual project.
Yeah, no, quite interesting. Of course, it's not out of the realm of the ordinary. We have seen coaches from other regions come in and coach, teams in the past. It's not something that's like all that out there, but this is certainly a difference in style, without a doubt, Wyatt.
And that being said, I always feel, and I feel that you have to feel, to just keep saying feel over and over, that
we feel
when
things.
EDG are coming into any global event, ultimately they still have Kong and Chichu, who have the ability to just take over a game as a duo at any given moment.
Yeah, actually, I'm so glad you mentioned Kong and Chichu, because before the tournament, as we jump into discussing how EDG is going to be performing in this one, we want to see what kind of incredible feats they could pull off in the server. But more importantly, we want to see if they can handle real-life reflex tests. Let's check this out.
Helios here, and it's time to test the reflexes of none other than Kong as well as Chichu. Thank you guys for joining me. Are you ready for the test?
Yeah, of course.
All right, well, let's get to it. I believe we can start the game, so get ready.
Yeah, ready.
Any minute now.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, one. Ooh.
What?
All right. Got two in the end. It comes at you fast. It's surprising for sure.
Yeah.
But all right, we'll do some quick little movie magic, get reset, and then it's going to be Chichu up. So, cut. We're good? Wow, movie magic. It's all reset. Anyway, it's time for Chichu's turn. I think you have maybe a little advantage because you got to watch Kong go, but let's see if you can beat his score of 2.
3, 2, 1, go.
2. Oh.
Maybe I can drop one. I think. 是吧？这下面我该给他丢下去了。
Do you have any words now that you've beaten Kong?
I think I'm better than him.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me, and good luck on your matches.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, man, let me tell you, Seth, you killed that one 100%. All right, well, hey, listen, let's see. Reflex test, okay, maybe not the best situation. Shout out to Chichu, though. He is better than Kong. His words, not mine. But EDG, though, they're going to be coming to this one, without a doubt, as an underdog. They dropped 2 straight games to Mates to get to this point here. We saw yesterday how good that Mates team is. So was it a matter of Mates just being so good that they were outperforming EDG sideshow? Or did you feel like maybe EDG didn't give us everything that we know that they're capable of?
Yeah, I don't think they gave you everything. I think that EDG actually found themselves in lots of winnable positions and ended up making far too many mistakes in those spots in areas that they should have been able to close out. They got themselves into winning positions so frequently, but that only matters if you've got the discipline and the fundamentals to be able to make the right decisions to close out games. And I think the T1 are just going to apply a lot of pressure in similar spots.
Yeah, I'm a little worried that might be close to the best that we're going to get from them at this tournament.
Really?
In regard to having such an all-star showing from Kong, that's not enough to get them over the line on Haven. And I don't know if we've seen them play enough rounds throughout this kickoff run into this tournament that make me believe that they're going to be able to clean up enough of these.
Dude, I mean, Kankan was spectacular too in map 1.
Yeah, and oh man, if they can't get it done with this,
yeah,
I am worried.
I think though that it did showcase you want him with the op in his hand, right?
Yeah.
And he was still...
Because coming into the event, that wasn't the case, right?
Well,
we
he
were
was
seeing
still...
him be more of a rifler.
Well, yeah, but he was still opping on these maps where he plays Chamber on Haven,
yeah,
for example. But yeah, you're right in the sense that most of the time when he was playing like the Neon, which he did do on map 2, he was mostly with rifle in hand. He actually ended up opping a lot there. He just wasn't playing a character that is best suited for it, so he wasn't in as many spots to dominate and take over the game in map 2, which I think he kind of did map 1.
I just feel like when you're, because, you know, coming from Americas, right, we cover like OSPOS and players that are capable of being able to take over a game. But I think at this point here, at this level of competition, you are going to need just a little bit more out of this EDG team. You need more out of the squad to help out Kong, right? Because, yes, he's there for a reason. He's one of the best to ever do it. But at some point, man, the Jansport can only hold so much. You know, you gotta let backpack go. I don't know. What do you think?
The guy with the Gucci bag like tied on his shoulder.
Exactly.
Let it go, bro.
Yeah. So I mean, like, do you agree? Like, someone's got to step up here. But who is that?
Chichu. I mean, that's just the obvious pick. But well, in terms of, you know, history, what we've seen from him. But I think the real one is CB.
Yeah.
That dude's got to lock in. He had some good rounds, but there were other rounds. You're like, what is this guy doing? Where is he positioning himself? As when he was playing the Neon, he was getting some good kills, and then it felt like every time he got something accomplished, he just wanted more. He was sliding in so often and getting killed because of that, like over pushes.
Yeah.
I have concerns with that. If he just, I don't know, reined it in by like 20%.
All the percentages. We're back to the percentages.
12.5%.
But I think also we may be hyper-focused on the players here, but actually there's some of this that comes down to maps and theory and like what you're bringing in. And I think one of the areas that EDG might be able to find an upset is by leaning into their more unusual stuff that they were running during China. And that means Corrode and Bind. And I think Bind has a decent likelihood of happening in this series because T1 also love to play that map. And EDG run a really, really strange composition that I'd love to take people through in terms of going on into the Telestrator. Because have you ever seen a team on Bind right now running Phoenix with the Harbor? So look at this comp. They're running
Fire and Water.
Smoggy Harbor before the big Harbor buffs that we've just recently seen, alongside a double duelist comp that has the Phoenix. So what's the theory here on the attack side? Well, as you can see, they're going to use this new kind of whirlpool ability to block off showers, and that creates access into the showers area fairly easily, actually, on your attack side for you to farm up ult orbs. And who are the two people going in this direction? Well, it's the Phoenix and the Harbor. So you're going to be able to get showers control, B-long control fairly easily with that new ability from the Harbor. And then what your comp also allows you to do, if I show you the minimap, is to be able to get in more easily through hookah. So this the fact that this comp has so many walls, we'll show it from the attacker's perspective here in just a moment. Look at this. You're slicing off all of this area of the map. It's also very difficult to go through this. I mean, you could challenge it by trying to swing through here with a flash or something like that, but it does allow you to do more hookah waterfall strategies than you might otherwise be able to do with other compositions. But I think the real power of it is something that EDG have figured out on their attack side, is that Harbor's ultimate now is monstrously effective from B long. So this, the new Harbor ultimate, it throws out a big wall that pushes forwards, and this is essentially going to cover the whole of the B site. You couldn't do anything against this if you were trying to hard anchor on B. So you already see, though, within China, that Tyloo, the team that they're playing against here, are running a B retake wall. They're just playing B for retake. Really unusual idea in terms of bind setups generally, but when you're playing against a Harbor comp that has the ult, you're not going to want to stand on site against this. They're going to know where you are. They're going to be taking it away from you. You can't even flood very well here because the high tide's up in your face. They're using a Phoenix ult to completely make sure that they have the space, and then they even have, because they know it's going to be a big 5v5 afterwards, they've got a Raze ult to be able to play for in the post plan too. Now, this comp falls to pieces on defense like almost any Harbor comp does, though. Like we were watching Harbor recently, right, when Liquid pulled it out on Pearl. And it doesn't look good on defense, but at least they've got some like cool theory ideas that could catch T1 off guard on attack. But it's cheese. That's the way you're getting it done,
well,
I
listen
think.
here. A little cheese, you know, might be okay. Unless you're lactose intolerant. But of course, though, a lot of pressure on this squad. And they were feeling that when they faced up against the Gentlemates. We did get an opportunity to catch up with Chichu. We spoke to him about the loss of Gentlemates in this HyperX player moment. Enjoy.
我觉得我们的个人失误很多，然后需要去复盘一下。然后我觉得就是还是比较难过的，因为没有拿下比赛。我想告诉粉丝的是，这个最大的区别就是跟你在玩游戏的时候，你不知道对手会做什么，所以说你要不断的去做自己的事，然后去印证自己的一些猜想，这些都是充满着危险性的。所以说每一步其实都是会走得非常的有困难，但是还是不得不去做，因为这是我们的比赛，我们只有做了，我们才能赢下比赛。
The only saving grace they have is read so well. You've seen this man work, and you'll see it again. Oh, he's feeling himself. Putting on a show.
我对此抱有100%的信心，因为我们打比赛就是来赢下奖杯的。然后我希望在今天，复完盘过后，我们能走得更远，然后拿下大师赛的冠军奖杯。
You could tell what this means to EDG, how much they put into this. And them saying right there, we play for trophies. Well, here's the thing. They're in an elimination game right now. There's a possibility they might not be playing for a trophy after this. We asked the community in our MasterCard fan poll, did you think any CN squads were going to survive? Oh, no. Okay, never mind. I guess that's a 0% chance at 63. 28% say one. And I'm assuming that one
is XLG.
So, yeah, I mean, what do you guys make of this?
Well, I think it shows you how much the CN squads are underdogs, right?
Yeah.
And that means if they can land a big upset, I think it would be the first huge upset of Santiago, actually, if EDG or XLG come away with a victory here today.
All right, now before we get into the matchup, we need to figure out who's got the side selection. So we have our 1v1 skirmish today. It's going to be, whoa, Izu versus Jenny? Who, help me out here.
A crazy pull.
What's going on? Who is this guy?
All right, so when EDG won their world championship, they had a player called Simon on the team. They decided to drop him. They decided to drop him. I won't go into the drama around that.
Fair.
But Gianni was the first player that they pulled in to try to replace Simon. Then that didn't work, so they went for HFMI, can't say the rest of his name. And then that didn't work, so they went for CB. I don't think Gianni was even still traveling with EDG. I didn't realize he was still a sub that went to Masters events with them. Maybe he's just a skirmish.
That's what I like. The concept of flying out a substitute player to just dial in, play skirmish in the practice room every single day so you can win every side select.
I actually don't hate that idea considering the stakes. Like, we've seen it in the regions, you know, we've seen the coaches play, and I think like when you're talking regional battles, maybe a little bit different. But here, every single advantage that you have at a Masters event matters. So I kind of gotta go with the really smart idea here.
He's getting cooked by the skirmish specialist.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he's pulling it back a little bit here, but if Jenny... the op is scandalous behavior as well.
That's wild. Okay.
We should not be seeing
No way. What are we doing here? All right.
I mean, this is diabolical stuff.
No. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Dude.
I was rooting for Jenny.
We were selling this narrative.
Jenny won't be subbing in today.
Oh, man.
Will not
okay.
be subbing in,
Well,
sadly.
we got our side, so let's go ahead and see what's going on with the map picks and bans. Take it away.
Yeah, we're starting map selection for EDG against T1. We already had skirmish T1-1, so you start choosing to be Team A or Team B?
We Team A.
Team A. Okay, so T1, Team A, EDG, Team B. T1 starts banning a map.
We ban Corrode.
Corrode. Ban for EDG.
Ban Breeze.
Breeze. Map pick for T1.
We pick Bind.
Bind. Side on Bind for EDG.
Defense.
Defense. Map pick for EDG. Abyss, Haven, Pearl, or Split?
Oh,
Split.
We pick Haven.
Haven. Side on Haven for T1.
Defense.
Defense. Second set of bans, starting with T1, you have Abyss, Pearl, or Split.
네. We ban Abyss.
Abyss. Last ban for EDG, you have Pearl or Split.
Ban Pearl.
Pearl. So decider is Split, side on Split for T1.
We pick defense.
Defense. Okay, that's it, guys. Good luck, have fun.
Have fun.
Thank you.
So we are getting that bind map where you illustrated the Harbor play. First of all, just curious to see if they continue to run that comp. Definitely might be incentivized to do so because Harbor's just straight up buffed since they played it in that game you were doing the telestrator of. Now, that being said, I think T1's bind was looking phenomenal in their kickoff run. They just play the straight-up meta comp. They have the Yoru Wele, but they were dismantling all the competition. The last team they went up against was Paper Rex. It was a super one-sided game, and Izu's Yoru was outrageous. Dropped 29 for 8.
Oof. I mean, look, you're going to be needing some Herculean performances across the board here today because it's elimination day. Only 2 teams are going to stay alive, and the crowd is ready to go. So let's go ahead and kick this bad boy off as day 4 of Masters Santiago starts right now.
¡Vamos a recibirlos! EDG
And here we go, as you have a matchup between 2 teams who faced off against each other at Masters Bangkok 2 times, and they traded wins. But when it mattered most in the lower bracket final, it was T1 who got the better of EDG 3-1. Now, this is where the pressure lies, Wyatt.
A Masters winning core team versus a core of a team that won champions, and one of them is going to be going home this early in the tournament. Who can bounce back today? Can Kong keep up that level of outrageous performance that he displayed in that first match? Just trying to be the hero, trying to get them over the finish line. Couldn't do it, but maybe it'll be enough today.
It must be so surreal for the T1 guys to look over and see Autumn on the other side of things. That aspect is so cool to look at, but we start off on bind, and I am so interested to see what that agent select looks like. But I would agree with you that T1 are the favorites here. I think they're the team that should be in the driver's seat during this game, especially if we end up on split. That's a map that EDG have really been struggling with. I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be an uphill battle, a big upset if EDG wins.
If EDG are one note on bind with this Harbor, it feels like the usefulness of that comp will expire quick, and the meta-defining comp that is ran by T1 there should just be able to win over consistency throughout the entire game. But when we get to Haven, again, it's just back on that man right there. Gets to be on the chamber, gets to be that primary upper.
How much of Autumn's understanding of T1's current playbook do you think is going to factor into this one? Or did KDG bring enough unique ideas with the essential same core to the extent with this T1 squad to make it a little bit different to throw Autumn off the scent?
They definitely have changed a little bit since that Bangkok kind of era, and I think it's not as much on KDG in my opinion, it's more on Munchkin. The fact that you've changed the IGL and brought in a guy that does play quite differently. They're not hardcore scrapping all the time, fighting like they previously were. I think it will have adjusted to the point where having Autumn as a coach on the other side doesn't give you like a deep insight into your opponent as much as you might think.
But it does also feel like on T1 side, they know that Autumn likes to do the weird, wonky stuff. So they have to have that assumption. And as we've been talking about and breaking down all this footage and gameplay, surely T1's been doing the same thing.
seeing this Harbor play through. And I mean, we saw how Harbor was kind of fall flat yesterday on the defensive side. We talked about it a lot. This is going to be very interesting. EDG need to figure out ways to clean this up.
Yeah, obviously it's a very different style from Team Liquid, but look, we didn't see T1 show adaptability in that game against the very distinct style that
Do you think they're capable of showing that adaptability, though? That was just an outlier.
I find that I would assume, honestly, that it should be easier to do against this comp than the way that Team Liquid were approaching the game. I really want to see if that man, though, Meteor, can step things back up from having a real struggle showing against Liquid. One of the multi-time trophy lifters globally in VALORANT. That's rarefied air that he exists in. And that first series is certainly not indicative of the level that he's shown for years at this point.
Absolutely not. I think as well, when you look at the other side of stuff, like EDG, we're talking about them being the underdogs, and of course they have that legacy of winning an incredible world championship in 2024. I think it deserves a bit more credit, perhaps, and we're even saying that. Think about the other teams that were around at that time, you know, Gen G, your Sentinels, you know, the other squads that were around in 2020. They're not here. 2024.
Oh,
Heretics, for example, like these top teams of that year, they're all gone right now. They are not attending Masters tournaments. EDG have managed, domestically at least, to still keep their head just above water where they can make it to these events.
Yeah.
And if you can just get that push, you can wake up a few of these players and remember what they were like a couple years back.
And EDG, they were headed into this tournament with some positive momentum. Yes, they got knocked down to the lower bracket in their run, but they went on a run in that, 4 series wins in a row to get here. And you have to feel like there was the potential for them to be peaking at the right time, just off that streak, off the confidence that they were going to get from that.
Yeah.
But they just ran into such a strong Gentlemates team to open this tournament.
It's really fascinating, the juxtaposition between what we were seeing from EDG prior to this. And heck, I would even go as far as say T1, because look, I'm going to call a spade a spade. When we went into that Masters Bangkok event, there was no one in the world that was predicting T1 to win that whole thing. So I'm seeing a team who won an event who was like, oh my God, we did it, versus now a T1 that carries way more confidence with them. And it's the flip side for EDG. They used to be the team that came in with all the swagger in the world, but now it feels like they are lacking a little bit of that confidence.
Sure, I think that's reasonable framing. I also do think, though, in terms of early days here at Santiago, T1 will be more disappointed about being a 0-1 team than EDG.
Oh, good
I think
call.
Because they've come in with a decent seeding, they would have expected to win that opener.
Well, I just got a little spoiler, which is the fact that EDG want to continue to lean into what works, which is Kong picking up the AWP, playing the agents where that weapon is most useful. Statistically, the Chamber has been his best agent this year. They've swapped up, obviously, fully away from that Harbor look.
This is a good setup. This gives them a chance, I think, in this bind, I think personally.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I think the solo duelist chamber comms that we've been seeing in Americas, run by teams like G2 and 100 Thieves, they've actually been immaculate. RRQ's been doing it in Pacific. It gives you such an ability to control the tempo of the game.
Folks, the last time these teams met, T1 sent EDG home at Masters Bangkok. Will history repeat itself? Let's send it back over to your casters. Here's Pansy and Hypoc.
This feels like it needs to be redemption in my eyes, Mike. Both of these teams performing to a degree that I think is less than their potential so far.
Definitely, yeah.
They've got to show me something here to warrant moving forward.
Yeah, I think more so for me, it's EDG on the side of that. I'm so happy, obviously, to be coming into
God,
bind.
with the panic on your face.
See some changes, because again, it was just... It wasn't here. It wasn't here.
No, you didn't use that.
No, I used another word, but we're on now.
Okay, true. Yeah, we've gone past agent selectors. Production told us we are now live into the game on the defending side. EDG T1 on the attack. And we've got a set standard early, an adjustment in composition from EDG, which, as said, I think is a very good indicator, hopefully, that they are looking for adjustments at this point.
Absolutely, T1 already showing presence here towards B long. No contact elsewhere on the map, so EDG making moves just yet. Buzz all the way on top side already. Izu's going to find Chichu.
Yeah, and it just feels like there's no fight back, man. EDG just get bullied. Kung's here, but by now the plant's in. There's 5 on the site. They've got a deeper post plant down long. where are you meant to find that next layer in? It would be really hard to take away all of these crossfires that can be put in play so quickly.
Still down to 3 HP, but he's able to disconnect here, and already easy looking to
like
wrap
that.
back behind EDG here. Smoggy hasn't made moves just yet through CT.
It's gorgeous though. A proactive post plant, I'll take that. CB, not bad. But they've lost out on Kung Kungs here, down to 2, so you're starting to really lose it in the numbers and the time. And Izu with 4 insane kills. That reposition, Mike, that's what I want to see. Take the bull by the horns, get active, get involved.
And so much time to piece something together there with EDG, just desperate to, well, somebody to overpeak on site. Just huddled into hookah here.
I mean, it has been the conversation of discipline throughout this tournament. And to be fair, I don't think T1 are the first team that comes to mind for it, but you're not going to get that many... Yeah, exactly. So I think it's going to be interesting to see that as well. I do want to touch base as we go throughout this. It was a key issue with EDG, primarily. The amount of times that these anti-ecos would slip away from them, over-peaking, you know, player disadvantage situations or advantage situations they'd lose in. I want to see that mentality just tidied up. And, well, Buzz off to a good start. Takes away Kung Kung. That is, I don't want to say the floodgates open. There's still 2 players towards Shower, and Smoggy's gone. There's only 1 there now, so it's a little tougher to imagine this going any other way.
Deal here. CB obviously still towards, let's say, back towards Showers, but able to slip away. Only classics on the way back in here for EDG. 3 left standing. Really
It was such an unnecessary kill. No one. Oh, nothing.
CB looking to make moves.
Okay. Exchange of info.
CB looking to make moves.
Okay. Exchange of info. Confirmed. Ichu is on the case because they looked absolutely dead to rights there. Nobody in the corner looking baffled as to what was coming. The Molly forces him out. Munchkin gets him. Hold on, it's a 3v3. This is a bonus for T1. This was not meant to be the big threatening round, but Chichu, the hero of the hour, goes down. Meteor! That's what I'm talking about! 4 big kills!
Convert a bonus for T1. Initially, Chichu the way in here. CB slight overstep into the snake bite. This makes him basically a freebie. In response.
We've got some big performances already. Buzz sitting on 5-2, Izu 4-1, Meteor 4-1, and Stax was the man who stood out to me earlier.
Absolutely. Wow,
so
yeah.
It's like, far.
Ready.
How EDG you want to maybe hold this again? You've got Buckies, you've got Sheriffs, and you don't have Kung Kung. T1 on the money. You'd imagine masses of work to be done, but I like put up some numbers here. Chichu is online. So Smoggy. Buzz tries to break the back line that they lost. Gets it back in hand, and now the spike can be...
The reset from T1 to potentially find an upgrade. Will confirm the rotation. Plenty of time to find this plant, though. That's going to be the issue for EDG.
Oh, I was if maybe Smoggy had already started that rotation. It's not the case.
Yeah, you see the pings here actually potentially looking to catch somebody with Buzz's ult. Maybe teeing up Munchkin on contact here from elbow.
Looks like you might be right. There's the upgrade for nobody.
Both going CT.
That could play into the plan of T1. See how the contact plays out, though.
This is going to be brutal.
Yeah, as this feels like they've made something out of nothing, but again, going to be quite deep by the time they get close. Here we go, and there. That might just be the checkmate, and yeah, it is. Buzz going to get his 3, and the plan well made, and T1 just get things back in order. It got dangerous, and I like what EDG were trying to do. They got in their faces. They weren't playing scared and that, but it doesn't really clean approach. Lovely.
Chichu again finding 2 kills.
He's trying.
Yeah. On the top of the board for EDG, but nothing else to write home about. Getting closer and closer to some of these ultimates, but already with the investment coming from T1. Firm lead in that regard. Same setup once more. Standard approach towards this B site hold, and T1 have found their point of weakness, it would feel.
Cutting through. Here.
Chichu somewhat kept this together last time, finding 2 in the kind of cut, but that's great from CB, waiting to catch on the push-up, deny Buzz the ability to springboard in, break that front line for it. So EDG have held off the first wave.
Yeah, great learning on the fly here, just to duck inside that smoke. Deny that initial burst towards side. T1 haven't backed away, though.
And again, taking risks when they still had information to be used. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit nervous if this is what I'm seeing now, but there's still a chance of this. Kung Smoggy, they want this one back. And Stacks with 5 seconds until he gets maybe the Haunt, if he even gets a chance to use it. But tucked in a corner.
How will they read this plant, though? So you take it all the spam connecting.
He's just going to play this calm. Can he get one for free? That's the question. Yeah, he can. A second, but it's Kung. Surely not again. Stacks can't do it. Kung can. And EDG are finally on the board. I got insanely nervous seeing that swing from backside, though.
Again, the challenge into CT here. EDG so far, I don't know if T1 are thinking maybe somebody's already up close and personal. Again, the challenge wasn't really necessary here. EDG allowed a way back in to this retake. Oh, wait, that was the kill?
Jesus.
I thought CB was maybe just spamming into that, so it was literally 1 bullet.
Excuse me, I'm working.
EDG will post their first here, do have a couple of these ultimates available. Come into round 6. The pit, the orbital strikes. CB and nobody actually just want to wait.
Yeah, pretty close. Wiley getting back in and then getting proactive, it looks like. Flash down. Do they then go for a fight? Easy's caught. Yeah, terrible timing. Utility a hand and rewarded for CB. Good trade for Munchkin, though. Not going to let that go unpunished. The CB was already basically halfway out of there. Yep. And just gets spammed. Meteor on the punish, and now nobody looking vulnerable. Look how far away the other players are. They're going to note his presence, a high flash, but he just wants to backpedal. No, he's sticking around. I don't know what he was hoping for there, but that probably wasn't it. 4 players to the 2, and the site is very much T1's.
Give this up, almost the operator in hand for Kung. Too big an investment to risk here when they're already up against it in terms of the finances. T1 probably already reading that very well with how deep Meteor's exploring towards CT now. Chichu tagged up, only down to 89. Plenty of time left to find these kills, Lauren.
Yeah, they're going for it too. So Chichu will hold it at least for now, but you're looking at Buzz here, and there is a slower approach from Munchkin. I don't know if that's going to come in either, but let's see. Buzz Taken down. Ooh! What? All right, Kung. We'll put on a show, but it doesn't change the round outcome. And I don't know if Munchkin gets LOS on this.
No, I think it's too tight an angle.
Yeah, he's nah. All right, so it looks like he keeps the operator. Okay, I was making real sure on that, but 5-1. I also just feel like EDG aren't getting the information they want early. I don't know how they want to go about finding that.
Again, and just looking at the timing on rotations, they've been behind the curve a little bit, and then with nobody kind of overstaying his welcome, yeah, it sends out a flash to maybe allow him time to back. Allow him time to back all the way into CT, because Chichu's already there. There's no reason for an extra body to fall here. You can see how quickly at that point it's just, yeah, we've got to save. We have to save.
Yeah, and again, I want to see how they problem solve getting that early information, because I don't mind that they kind of went for that aggressive start on short on B, traded out 1-for-1 in the end, but that's not reliable enough. I think I want to see them try and be a little bit more fluid with those rotations here. So just checking in with the Coinbase win condition. As we can kind of see the flow of things, it's pretty one-sided. It's a 5-1 score.
Yeah, I think probably coming out of this timeout, the win condition for them is going to be building a plan around these ultimates, Lauren. They've already been able to stack these up and at a 4-round deficit.
Yeah.
Maybe not here in the buy round for sure, but there needs to be something proactive on the side of EDG. We're sending probes out. Initially, there's a swing out from Hookah here, but a little limp-wristed.
Yeah,
CB's immediately out there. There's no contingency to somebody counter-swinging that. Like you said, I believe Munchkin, right? It was just immediate on that trade. And
quick on it.
Unfortunately, then CB's caught transitioning back out of Hookah. So yeah, for me, certainly the response I'd like to see here on the defense from EDG.
Oh, they're abusing this, aren't
they? To make use of some of these ultimates in the next few rounds at least.
That's a tough start if you're looking at the mini-map. Now, how long does Chichu get to play this? Ooh.
Ooh. Well, well, now they know.
Time to run. No, time to try and do something. Didn't work out, shockingly. Site is going to be T1's. Izu's there. They've got the nice molly towards CT. He's got safety to pop out. So they can get the plant, and it is a 5v4. Now, a Frenzy, a couple of upgraded pistols, but not much. It's mostly really Kung at this point to try and do something. Nice flash. Going to force away the first layer. CB then takes some steps. Most of this post plant is towards long, but then look at the space between the next players coming through. Luckily, Kung lands a great shot. Meteor's now in no man's land. Has to slip back in towards Hookah. Izu next, point of contact. Kung's found him again. Okay, that's a second body dropped. You got some more of that, Kung. Stacks just back towards long. Yeah, gonna catch nobody. And this is where they kind of, the fun stops, right? This is where they start really tightening up that post plant.
Another? Of course.
I mean,
but of course.
It doesn't change the outcome, but it certainly looks pretty. T1, though, again, they found a pressure point. They're not really letting up.
Yeah, the issue being Buzz is going to have his second ultimate by round 8. So a huge tool in terms of site executions here, especially with EDG hanging around to contest these site hits.
And then it becomes that thing in my head of like, okay, well, when do we put Kung towards B? When do we start trying to make him move around the map? And then is that the time that T1 decide to flip it up and change things around, right? But I feel like you've got to try and get this man active, because these three players are not holding this B site, and you've got to find something fast. You're sat at 6-1, and look, we know he's a gifted player. He's got 4 kills, but it didn't change what the round's going to look like. And once again, we're seeing similar scenes.
Yeah, let's hit the site. Kung's not on again. He's going to be able to, I mean, connection on the flash here, but it won't necessarily tell them anything different about any other round.
They are trying to play towards B long at least, though. I prefer this, but then I want to see what the layers are from T1, right? This means that, okay, B is not free and available. Cool. So let's see how the rest of the map feels. We're going to have to deal with getting past Kung, potentially, because we haven't seen anything else. And I like the rotation. This is better from EDG. They've gone proactive on the extremity, down B long, freed up nobody, has got Seekers. So this could be incredibly useful. A 3-2 split towards the A site. Yes. 3 through shower.
Smoggy's got to be careful here because he's in a fairly committed position. Does have the trap. We'll note the TP as well.
Flash. Here we go. Kung then plays it forward. TP's back. And Smoggy's blind as anything. He can't find a shot in time. And now Kung deleted. T1. This is masterful from them. I gotta say it, I'm loving what I'm seeing. Initially, I put it to EDG for not adapting well enough, but T1 are looking like they are on point today, Mike.
I mean, it's almost like they're not expecting some of this investment to come. Yeah. They're in positions that, like I said, Smoggy is fully committed here. Has the trap, yeah, but where do you fall back to? Kong's got so much to control from top truck that you can't just rely on him in this scenario. And they just absolutely buckle under the pressure that T1 are able to apply.
Still no solutions found. And if anything, that's compounded the problem of, oh, we hit the site that Kong was at, we hit the site that had the third player on it. There was that rotation from nobody. They were there. They had the right read, and it still just instantly fell apart. As you said, maybe Smoggy caught in a position that didn't really favor them. You can see where he died even on the minimap there. It's just, there's no backing from that. So T1, I'm very impressed with this T1 side. They had an explosive start, sure, but they have been largely in control for this since that point forward. I haven't seen a robust reply from EDG yet.
I need to know what the discussion was in that timeout.
Gorgeous.
Again, just look at some of these kills. Dare I say they're seemingly free once they actually get through the choke point. Like, unless they stop them in showers there and there's a plan in place to really secure that.
We're
taking off the pit, but he's going to be challenged immediately.
It's been revealed! He couldn't stay alive, the pit's gone down!
Buzz is playing insane right now.
Oh, he is deadly, man. And Kong, can he do much with this? He's still lingering around. They might have a good idea. Yeah, with that Prowler there, absolutely. Pop flash on it, they're going to go hunting. Kong's fallen, T1. They are sharp. They know exactly what T1 would, excuse me, what EDG would like to do. None of it's working for EDG. The flank considered potentially by Stacks as well. Yeah, simple stuff for these boys. This is their bread and butter. Nobody in Smoggy. Have fun, I guess.
Easy's going to catch this, so no chance for nobody to even slip into the pit. Smoggy, last one standing now. Noted Munchkin will remove his head. An 8-1 scoreline here. EDG, mountains to climb to get back into this now, and T1 hitting this sort of pace time and time again.
Oh, that reveal timing. Chichu's got to know he was dead then.
It's heartbreaking because, what, 2 rounds ago we were looking at basically all 5 ultimates available. Yep. EDG have got nothing from it. Going to call a second timeout here in round 10.
I guess we could then discuss a little bit of the comfort in this composition, but when your coaches look like that, I'm not.
Well, again, this is the issue. I was happy to see the change, but whether or not this is just kind of a knee-jerk reaction. In terms of some of the win conditions, in terms of getting CB into a position, at least on the defense here, to play aggressively, at least trim the fat a little bit.
Sure.
I mean, at this point, hell, go for a trade. Just get a kill.
Do anything.
Get a kill on somebody. Ahead of sponging a site here.
Yeah, before Buzz is on site, try and get a kill. But it's easy for us to say that. Obviously, it's easy in this position when we get to see everything, but...
There's not much stopping T1 when they're playing like this.
No, exactly. Look, we've seen the strength of these boys.
But the issue being they're going to sit back and watch this half just pass them by.
That's the devastating part, right? We were talking about redemption and that resilience. EDG are a world-class team. They are not doing that now. Well, that's the difference.
Issue being as well, what we saw previously on Haven from EDG. If we go to, again, they just looked kind of lost for answers, right? Yeah. Their go-to wasn't working.
And then where's the adaptation? Where's the
you get a few rounds from Kong, and talked about it not being kind of something you can repeat over and over again.
No.
As much as he'd like to say otherwise.
Look, and that's the issue with some of the, I guess, series and teams we're seeing now is the brutality of unactualized potential. As you said, this might be EDG watching this half pass them by. And for T1, they are firmly in control of the momentum. Deep default, just see if they can identify any over-aggression that could be the solution that EDG wanted to go to.
Right here.
And that makes it harder for EDG, right? They are going to be behind the curve in every possible solve they could come up with.
T1 now finally expecting the aggression. Izu with a scope in hand. Smoggy. A pretty snappy shot onto him.
Okay, that's good. You've got a man advantage. We don't need to do any more, right? We can chill now. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. I really don't want to be seeing that! T1!
Why?
There was no need, EDG. You had the advantage. You had 2 players up. Okay, they can deny the plant at least, but with 45 seconds, Munchkin's got his own. He's still got a molly. He's still got 2 smokes. And he does have Stax by his side as well. Oh dear, Stax, he's on it! EDG breaking their own hearts, man. They had that one in the bag.
T1 drift into these sightlines on A short. And again, they're looking to punish the other side of the default, which is just...
That's a dream if you're T1. You're not meant to catch them walking like that's not meant to happen. They
Oh, that shot from Smoggy was beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like CB's caught here, just he's not even ready for this engagement. As they're about to walk out, he's setting up to be the one to slide into the open. Very bizarre. And that will kind of shatter the mental of EDG now. Yes, we're talking about a high caliber team, tons of experience, but rounds like that where you feel, right, we're off the starting block, and it just gets ripped away from you.
Can you recover anything? A buffer, right? Give me enough that you can make it through a pistol round on the second half. I'll take that. So they're going to invest Smoggy deeper. You're hoping for a one and done. Maybe then allow Kung Kung to come into effect.
Yeah, play in with the rifle here, but it's going to be the full force of T1. Izu's going to be able to reveal absolutely everything that's going on here.
It's so simple, T1. This is just systematic domination. And do you know what? They're pulling no punches. Why would you at this point? They want the job done. They had a rough start to things, and they are not going to let it happen again. T1 are in form, Mike. It is just lovely to see.
They're just so efficient with this composition in terms of Izu and Buzz just finding value round after round. A flawless round to get to 10.
And look, this is T1's map, you know, but this is not what you wanted to see. This is not what you wanted to see. This could have been a great, great elimination game. So far, I feel like EDG aren't in the server. And I like EDG. We know the highs of this team. I can't stress it enough.
So Buzz is about to get his third ult as well.
God, he's 15-6.
Yeah, he's just playing lights out right now.
Look how many ops there are, Michael.
Yeah,
Michael, why is there 3 of them?
Quite a 3. Yeah.
Okay, we've found one.
Again, because they're reading this like, they're like, guys, you have to push us, right?
Yep. You got to take space somewhere. You can't keep playing on this kind of like passive line, just gambling and guessing. And Izu going to take the way out of that, but going to note that there's a push down towards Shower. So going to take the extremity on that. That's fine. Now we don't need to overextend. We've got a little bit of info. Let's see how T1 want to react, right? Where do they want to then put their attention towards?
Trade out for rifles now. So Stax and Munchkin with their ultimates to invest here. Chichu getting curious on the other side. Now, that could be an issue, depending on timing here.
I like this so far, actually, from EDG, funny enough. I like what they're doing, but sadly, Buzz is just breaking backs out here, man. Straight away, he's got so much value every time. 2 players as well. It's just too good. It's just too good. And then Izu wants to try and capitalize. And again, you can understand the intent.
The counter stun's insane there, actually.
Hold up. Chichu's in a great position here, but it's actually going to be done. The damage being done elsewhere. Down to a 1v1. Stacks up against Chichu. An opportunity for a piece of silver lining to potentially fall to EDG's hands. And Chichu going to walk this out. He doesn't want to stick around too close, allow Stax the chance to find a quick kill. Not to be. He has to go for.
Down here, we'll cut line of sight. Chichu won't be able to pressure this. Might just spot the edge of it.
But the confidence is going to be on Stax's side, but the HP is on Chichu's. Gets to get a step closer, still a seize and the horn in hand. Playing on the corner, spots nothing yet, and then the penny should drop right about now. There it is. Stax turns, looks for it, can reposition well. He's playing Ringer Rosie, and Chichu has to clear everything. Oh dear, it's there for Stax! T1 looking untouchable, Mike.
Just absolutely insane to see them operate at this level. EDG with so little answers. Similar, again, a much worse scoreline, but a similar thing we saw in the opening series. Just that next level of adaptation never really came from them.
And we were waiting and hoping we would see it. Simply did not come in time or at all. 11-1 to scoreline. Don't go anywhere.
can I help you, sir?
Here's the bill from the dealership where I got my car, and I'd like you to beat it with a better deal on one of these fine cars.
Not how it works.
Guess you're not as cool as Verizon.
Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill for a better deal today.
Parakeet AI is an AI online call assistant that gives you the answer to every question on your online call, such as, what is your biggest weakness? Click AI Help and Parakeet AI will provide an answer based on your resume and customize it for the position and the company that you're applying for. Our app can also analyze your screen and provide solutions to any coding problems that you may get during your meeting. And the best thing about it is that it remains invisible to everyone else, so you can comfortably see all the answers while sharing your screen on your online meeting. This is our brand new desktop app. It's available both on macOS and Windows, and it is the best way to use Parakeet AI. But you can also use Parakeet AI right inside your web browser without having to download our app, or even on your mobile phone by placing it in front of your computer display. Try Parakeet AI for free today.
Get a player feeling good, get them online. Chichu didn't have a bad performance necessarily, but it wasn't just an individual problem. And T1 can take, really, chances. They can take an aggressive start and they can hunt down Kung Kung, which is a deadly sentence to say, but when you're hitting shots, like Buzz has been, I don't blame you for going for it. And EDG already looking battered and bruised coming away from that.
Chichu will lurk all the way up long, but again, you see Meteor already positioned towards Heaven in anticipation. They've conceded this space, and
so
he's going to
good.
catch Chichu.
Really good understanding from T1. Here, Meteor can turn away from this, and that's a fair fight, actually, as CB won it and gets some control. Wants to get the Sheriff, gets it. 2 bullets, 2 targets, can't find him. Stacks with a double, triple for Stacks! Oh, dear. Blink and you'll miss this game.
Trying to pick up the pace a little bit here. Catch T1 off guard, but the contingency in the form of Meteor. And even here, they get the sound cue confirmation on Kung Kung, and T1 are just happy to go forwards. Set piece with the flash off Izu. Simple as you like.
Well, Stingers, Sheriffs.
They might force it.
Do you think? Oh. Big work for the analysts right now. Okay, Munchkin's got a judge. And he's got no fear at all. CB put to his grave. And he's not backing down. There's no reason to. There's no fear at all shown. Munchkin just pumping damage. And Izu standing guard. It's gorgeous. T1 just putting on a show. Wrap it up. 13-1. T1. They are not going home yet. They want to stay here, and they have shown why. EDG barely a look in this time. Not a single player breaking double digits. Quiet throughout. So it's time for them to figure it out. Haven is on the horizon, and they need that to work. Well, this one will be over before you know it.